Okay. Hello, everybody. How are we this evening? I was just making it up, Lily. It doesn't mean anything. Okay, so we'll get my screen share started. Okay. Now let me see how to. There we go. Okay, so welcome to session 8, and thank you to everyone that sent me get well soon messages. I'm feeling a lot better, but I'm still not completely out of the woods. Thank you, everyone. Dui Tan, what is that absolutely amazing background you've got? All right, so tonight's session is on impromptu speaking. So impromptu speaking basically means that you're speaking with no prior notice. Like someone walks up to you and says, I need you to give a speech in front of 300 people in 5 minutes. Go. That would be impromptu speaking. So we're going to try and learn a little bit about it tonight. So we've got some tips for speaking on the spot. We've got some advice on how to structure impromptu speeches. And provided that there's time, I've got a few fun speech topics to give some of you guys, and we'll see how you go with coming up with a speech on the spot. So the first thing we'll do is we'll discuss some tips for speaking on the spot that are really good to kind of help you maybe get over your nerves or how to actually structure your speech. So we'll start with the first one. Quick thinking is key. So if you've only got a short period of time to prepare your speech, you had no real notice, being able to think quickly is going to be very helpful for you. So before we move on to the next one, who can think of a reason or two why quick thinking would be a good skill to have as an impromptu speaker? Nat Mai, what do you think? Why is quick thinking a good skill to have as a speaker?
I think that having a quick thinking is also key because it is like, well, we are thinking quickly, we can have a chance to speak so that the audience won't be bored or they won't need, there's no need to wait for the speaker to speak. So it will be quicker and it will be more useful.
Very good, Nat. So if you have the ability to think quickly, then you're able to formulate your ideas faster and get your speech written quicker. Very well done. Next, Diana from Hanoi. Why do you think quick thinking is a good skill to have as a public speaker?
I mean, get me, it's me. My name
Say
is
that again.
My name is Diana, and my Vietnamese name is Jetmi. I just changed my name.
No worries. All right, Alice, give us a good reason. Why is quick thinking an important skill to have?
Well, I think it helps us to work our brains better and also how to think faster so that we can you know be more confident about the speech maybe, and also help us give a mind more smarter, more logical.
Very good. So it can help us think through problems more logically because if we're able to think quickly, we can do more with our brains in a certain amount of time than someone who thinks slowly can. So good guesses from everybody so far. And we'll move on to the next one now. So the second one is stay calm and collected, because, and this one can actually affect even someone who's very well prepared, because if you're getting nervous about your speech and you start thinking over here and, oh, but then I've got to, did I remember to do my tie up? Am I wearing pants? Like you start getting all these crazy thoughts entering your head if you start thinking too quickly. So who else has a reason perhaps why staying calm and collected could be a good skill to have for a public speaker? Victoria, why is staying calm and collected an important skill to have?
Because staying calm will make everyone will notice that you're trying your best to do your presentation as much as I can. And also stay calm will make you will feel more comfortable to do your presentation and still thinking quick thinking to make your presentation. And of course, stay calm is also one of the emotions that people uses to make their presentation feeling more easier to do rather than saying with so many nervousness and scaring in their brain and also blank thinking too. So that's my presentation.
Very good, Victoria. So staying calm and collected can help us, especially if we need to think quickly. So well, part of thinking quickly is being able to stay calm while you do it. So yes, that can help out quick thinking very well. Good job. And it also shows the audience, another good point, it shows the audience that we are trying to focus on giving them the speech. So we're focusing on our audience and we're not worrying about a million things that won't go wrong anyway. Okay, so good answer, Victoria. We'll take one more for this one, and then we'll move on to our third tip. So Anna, why is staying calm and collected an important skill for a public speaker?
Well, if we stay calm in our speech, when we forgot our ideas, when we speak we can, and when we stay calm in our speech, we will more confident in our speech.
Very, very good. Oof. So being able to stay calm and collected is a very important skill to have. So well done to everyone that provided those terrific answers. Our third tip for speaking on the spot is organize your thoughts quickly. I almost said clearly then. So organize your thoughts quickly. Now this comes back to our first tip a little bit, because it's one thing to be able to have or come up with all of these ideas and fix all of these problems and come up with all of what we're going to say for our speech. But if you can't organize those thoughts quickly and effectively, like as you have the idea, you need to go, okay, put that one in this section over here, put that one in this section over here. And then you're almost able to go back through your thoughts and maybe remember, I don't know, for example, maybe remember an article that you read in a magazine a few months ago, and all of a sudden that's going to help you with your speech. So just being able to, I suppose, organize your thoughts quickly. That's another very important skill. So let's start with Tom. Why do you think
because
organizing your thoughts is important?
because if you don't organize your thoughts quickly, then you may come up with some weird structures, or maybe you can even or maybe you can even speak to something really weird, like you just like make up your own structure in your head, like Wario, Luigi, Mario, Turtle Burger, Turtle Burger married with Mr. Archer. That's an example. That's an example. a turtle burger marries Mr. Archer. Like that's an example.
Very good, Tom. Very good.
If you don't organize your thoughts quickly, then you're just gonna say a lot of random things, and audience will think that it is really weird and sometimes even humorous. Like my example of a turtle burger marrying you, Mr. Archer.
Thank you, Tom. That was a terrific answer. Vic,
Okay,
why do
so
you think
first of all,
organizing your thoughts quickly is important?
just a small notice about my name. It's called Vike, and the E is silent because I'm
My
annoyed by
apologies,
people
Vike.
calling me Viki or Vikey, which is okay. I think you should organize your thoughts quickly, and it's good because if you don't organize your thoughts quickly, you'll jumble around, and then you'll end up with a blank head. And if you just stand there for like 5 seconds straight, then the audience will be, this guy is so unprofessional, and sort of like that. Yeah.
Very good, very good. That has happened to me more than once. I got nervous and completely forgot what I was talking about, so I just went blank. And Alice, that is just the most beautiful piece of art that I've ever seen. All right, we'll move on to our final tip for speaking on the spot, and that is use a structured approach. So using a structured approach, simply it's just talking about having a structure. So knowing what you want to say and approximately when you want to say it. So that's actually going to come back to what we were talking about in our last class, which was the structure of a speech. We're going to be talking about that a little bit tonight as well. So who can think of a good reason why using a structured approach to impromptu speaking may be a good skill? I'm going to start with John from Hanoi.
I think using a structured approach is really important because if you don't use a structured approach, you will say like things all over the place. Like you are meant to talk about introduction first, and then the middle part, and then the conclusion part. But your mind went blank, and you don't read the paper really much, so you ended up reading the body part first, and then the conclusion part, and then reading the introduction part at last.
Reading the introduction last. My goodness. So, no, very good. So using a structured approach for your speeches can be a very good skill to have, because obviously it helps you know what order you need to say things in. So thank you very much, John. I'll ask Ken next.
For me, I think using a structured approach is important because you can't just bounce all over the place and confuse the audience. You need to have a clear, well-structured speech with a clear introduction, middle, and end. And also, when you talk about something, for example, let's say cars, you should talk everything you want to about the subject, and then you move to a new topic. You should use smooth transitions to improve your speech.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Ken. So another point that Ken pointed out was that we want a good structured approach to giving a speech because it helps it. Well, I'll fill in the second part of it as well. But you want your speech to flow logically from one idea to the next. And that's what Ken was talking about when he said the smooth transitions between topics. But the other reason for it as well is that if our speeches are really obvious with what we're talking about, this is my first argument, this is my second argument, here's my third, so on and so forth, here's the evidence. If I'm really clear about that, then my audience is going to be able to follow along with what I'm saying. So we always as well want to make sure that we use structure, not just for us, but for the audience as well. So really great job on explaining those tips and coming up with some good examples, guys. Well done. So we'll move on to next, actually structuring impromptu speeches. Yeah, very good, Ken. That method that I talked about using the say like this is my first argument, this is my second argument. You're right, that is a top technique in debate called signposting. And so we make our speeches so obvious no one can get lost. So we're going to now move into structuring impromptu speeches. And realistically, it has the same 3 sections as a speech that you've planned out and practiced and that you've really been rehearsed for. And those 3 parts are the introduction, so the beginning, the explanation, the body, which is the main reason or the main arguments that you're presenting in your speech or your essay. And then you've got the conclusion at the end, just to wrap everything up and remind your readers or your audience just what you've been talking about. So, do we have any questions about the structure of an impromptu speech before we move on to some techniques to help you create your, or deliver, sorry, your impromptu speech? Alice,
Yes.
did you have a question?
No, I don't have a question. I just raised my hand so that you could call me in the next question.
Oh, that didn't work out. Tom, do you have a question?
I don't have a question. Just
No
yet.
worries.
I will have one soon.
Victoria, do you have a question?
Yeah, so what if they say something that they don't agree or they hate our impromptu that they need that you just say? What can I do about that? About that?
So are you saying what happens if you don't like the topic or you're asked to speak about something that makes you angry or something like that?
Yes.
Okay, so if that was the case, then I think you would more than have the right to just deny giving the speech. So if it's something that you felt that heated about, then you're definitely allowed to say, look, no, thank you, I'm not interested in giving this speech. So if that was the case, let's hope you would do that, because I don't want to imagine just how crazy a speech like that could go if it made you feel angry.
Check the chat, please.
Enough. Very good. Okay, thank you, Victoria. Anna, do you have a question?
Well, I don't have a question, but by the way, why our voice is different than before?
Pardon?
Why our voice is different than before?
Because I'm still a little bit sick. I'm not entirely better yet. I'm just well enough to take the class tonight. So my voice
You
will
sick
probably
for
go,
1 week?
yeah, so my voice will probably go back to normal by next week, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Okay, Jessica, do you have a question?
Teacher, I want to ask you for this. If you give us some of the famous person's speeches, but I don't like the topic, that person's speeches, could I ask for a question if I wanted another topic?
So this depends. If you are at some kind of competition and they gave you a speech or a topic that you had to speak about, unless it was on, I suppose, some very special reasons, like if it was a religious problem or something like that, then you could probably ask for another topic. But generally speaking, competitions, you have to speak the topic you're given. Same as if you were to be given a speech, if you're asked to do a speech like this, just out of the blue, they'd just say, we need you to talk in 5 minutes. Here's the topic, just give us a speech. If you were going to do it, you just have to speak that topic. But if you didn't like the topic again, you just say, I don't want to give this speech. So a lot of the time, you can't change the topic. You can either do the speech or not do the speech. John.
I just raised my hand for the next time you. For the
Oh, not
next-
this again. Not this again. Okay, so I'll take one last question for now, Diana, and then I will teach you some techniques to help you deliver an impromptu speech.
So can I have a question about your health, please?
Say that again, Diana.
Can I have a question about your health?
Sure.
Then do you know what kind of illness do you have?
I'm not sure how it started, but it's turned into, I think, a very mild lung. I don't know if it's an infection or just a lung thing, but I'm basically coughing up a lot of goop and my
Oh.
voice isn't sounding right.
So
You asked. Okay, thank you for your question, Diana. We'll move on to some techniques now to help you deliver an impromptu speech. And you might want to take notes on these, guys. Some of these may help you in the future. Okay, so I've got here 5 techniques to improve your impromptu public speaking skills. So I'm just going to give you a brief description of these techniques and then a little bit about how it will actually improve your skills. So I'm actually going to give you some reasons why you should look into these things. So the first one is the PAR method, or the point, analyze, and respond method. And what this is this method involves quickly identifying the main point or question. So again, quickly analyzing and finding out what the topic of your discussion or your talk is, analyzing it. So thinking about it, looking at all the different parts of the question, and really thinking about the topic you've got from all perspectives. And then finally, responding with a structured answer. So that's our standard structure that we were talking about: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. And let's find out how it improves our skills. So it enhances your ability to think on your feet by providing a systematic approach. So systematic, think like a computer, very analytical, very structured, looking for the best answer. It helps identifying the point helps you stay focused. Analyzing it allows for a thoughtful response, and responding in a structured manner improves clarity. Excuse me. So we can see a skill like the PAR method would come in very handy. Number 2, we could do something called mind mapping. And that is where we create a mental or visual mind map to organize your thoughts quickly. So some of my old debate students might have done this with me, the brainstorming activity. It's very similar to that. So you'd start with the topic in the middle of the screen, on the middle of the page, and then you think of all the things you can think of about that topic, and you just write them down on the sheet of paper, and it just helps you collect a big collection of ideas to speak about. So start with the central topic and branch out with key points or ideas. Now, how it improves your skills, mind mapping enhances your ability to organize ideas on the spot. So it helps you come up with things really quickly. It's a visual aid. So you actually, whenever you do this as much as possible, try to actually do it on a piece of paper with a pen. Don't just try and think about it, because it can sometimes still be easy to forget some of your ideas. So it's a visual aid for structuring impromptu speeches, and it helps you maintain coherence and clarity, because all the ideas on the page should be to do with the one topic. Number 3, practice frequent brainstorming. Yes, I will. Tina, I'll do that. So yeah, practice frequent brainstorming. So regularly engaging in brainstorming sessions where you practice generating ideas quickly on various topics. So mind mapping, brainstorming is pretty much just mind mapping on a lot of different topics and ideas. So it improves your skills because frequent brainstorming hones your ability to think creatively and come up with ideas spontaneously, so on the spot. This skill is crucial for impromptu speaking, where you may encounter unexpected topics. Number 4, speed talking exercises. So practice speaking on a topic at an accelerated pace. Challenge yourself to articulate your thoughts rapidly. So what they mean by that is, even if you just copy and paste like passages from the internet, if you just practice speaking these ideas really quickly, and the idea is not to sacrifice pronunciation. So if you start talking fast and all of a sudden you're going, and so I said to the guy, as soon as you start just making sounds, that's where you've got to work at and try and improve to speak faster. But when we're doing this, we're aiming to, again, speak as quickly as possible. So how it improves your skills. Speed talking exercises improve your fluency and articulation. So it improves how well you speak your words, and also adding in like those little words like to and making sure your grammar is correct. So this speed talking can actually be very good for that as well. They train you to express ideas succinctly and with confidence. So really quickly and straight to the point, and which is essential for impromptu speaking, where your time is often limited. So you might get told, give us all your most important ideas on this topic, but you've got 5 minutes. So you need to be able to plan your speeches very well. And number 5 is record and review. So record yourself addressing impromptu topics, then review the recordings for areas of improvement. So if you watch yourself speaking and you go, oh, I don't like how I pronounce that word, or I don't like how I'm looking away from the camera at that point. If you look back at these things, you start to see them and you're able to fix them and stop doing them while you present a speech. So how it improves your skills. Self-analysis through recording helps you to identify patterns in your speaking, such as filler words, pacing issues, or lack of clarity. So just a reminder, filler words are words like, when you get nervous or you forget what you're talking about, so you just make those noises to fill in the space. So that's a habit you definitely want to get out of. Pacing issues. how fast you're talking. Are you just spewing words way too quickly? Because you need to make sure you get everything in. And lack of clarity. So again, pronunciation. Reviewing your recordings allows you to make targeted improvements in subsequent impromptu situations. So the more you do it and the more you record yourself doing it, the more you're going to fix and the more it will get better. There we go. Okay, so those were a few techniques to help you. Yeah, those were a few techniques to help you deliver an impromptu speech, just things to think about. I'll take a few questions now. So, Tom, do you have a question this time?
Like, can we make, how can we make an impromptu speech? Like, what's the fastest time that we can do it? Like, in about a few seconds or in about a minute? Like, what's the fastest time that we can maybe make a short impromptu speech?
Well, if you're a seasoned speech giving professional, I imagine you could realistically come up with one in about, say, 5 to 10 minutes, maybe as many as 15. But I don't think anyone would realistically be able to come up with a good speech in like 1 or 2 minutes, unless they were like super brain, best speech giver in the world. But yeah, I'd say about anywhere between 5 to 15 minutes preparation time, I think would be enough. But that as well also comes down to how often you practice these skills. So if you want to get good at them, you've got to put in the time, then you could. Victoria.
Okay, so I'll also have a question about it, about your screen, Mr. Michael.
Yeah.
And the question is in the chat, okay? While you're talking, I just can't get my mute on. So I put it in the chat, okay?
Why is the screen so big? I don't know. I really don't know why your screen would be so big that you have to use the mouse to scroll to see it all. My screen is just regular. That's quite strange.
No, I mean the two girls up there. I have put the picture in the chat.
Oh, you did. Why was that picture used?
I don't know. It's not.
It was part it was part of the template for this thing, I think. Thank you for your question, Victoria. John, what's your question?
I don't have a question.
Okay. Emily, haven't heard from you yet.
Okay, so I asked that once in the speech and in front of every people, then we just talk blah blah blah. Just in talking, then we forget what we're talking about. Then what techniques do we need at that time?
So at that time, I imagine even if you only had 5 minutes to prepare, you would have a note, you'd be given some note paper to write notes down on, or at least you should ask for some, and then you can avoid situations like that because you can always have the topic written right at the top of the page. So you never forget.
If we forget, then can we say this is end of my speech? See you next time. Can we do it?
Not if you were right in the middle of it. So, excuse me. So if you were giving a speech and you just completely forgot, there usually are people on the sides of the stage that are there to kind of remind you of what you're talking about. So even if you've done an impromptu speech, I imagine you could, there would be someone there to go, this is the topic. And they'll just whisper it to you so you can remember, and then you can go on with your speech.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. But yeah, definitely the best advice would be to just try and skip that stage and make sure you've got notes about the speech on it, even if it's just the topic. Ken.
Teacher, why is your screen so big? I need to drag all over the place.
I don't know.
And are we allowed to look at a paper when we're impromptu speaking?
Yes. Yes, you are. So if we're talking about a speech like this, I mean, first of all, the speech, I suppose the people that want you to give the speech should be thankful that you're willing to on such short notice. But yeah, no, there's absolutely nothing wrong with having a little bit of note paper just in your hand here, or whether it's even a whole sheet of paper that you're holding with one or two hands. If it's going to help you deliver the speech, they're going to let you have it. Luna.
So what exactly is an impromptu speech?
So an impromptu speech is a speech you may be asked to give with no preparation time. So you might have 10, 15 minutes to plan this speech. You might have 5 minutes, but it's very little warning. So you just have to prepare as quickly as possible.
So it's like you would ask me to deliver a speech in just 10 or 15 minutes?
Yes.
So can you look at a screen while delivering an impromptu speech?
Pardon?
Can you look at another device that your speech is on while delivering the speech?
Oh, sure.
You're on your camera recording your video, but your speech is on another device, so you have to glance over. So could you do that?
If you got asked to give the speech and then you decided to take your notes in your phone, then yeah, you could definitely look at your phone while you're delivering the speech, but you'd have to work it in such a way that it doesn't look like you're staring at your phone for the whole speech. You'd want to set it up so you could maybe speak a sentence or two, look at the phone, speak a sentence or two, something like that.
So it's like you have to look a line and memorize it before looking at another line?
So that's the ideal. That's the ideal. I mean, definitely with this shorter time to prepare, the best you could come up with would be a few notes, a few dot points maybe that you want to talk about. But the important thing really is making sure that you take all of that information and you put it into a structured format. So you start with your introduction, lead into your main points in your body, and then you finish off with the conclusion. So that'll be the most important thing with your structure.
Do you have a device on the ceiling? Why do you keep looking up?
I don't know. Sometimes I just look up, sometimes I look around.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Whoop. Okay, so my bad. I meant to do that. Okay, so speaking of that, I'm going to give a couple of you, I'm going to give a couple of you a chance to prepare a speech. And I'm going to give you 2 to 3 minutes to prepare it, and then I'm going to get you to present your speech. So let me find my list of fun topics. So I'm just going to pick 2 or 3 of you for this part. So I'll pick Tom. Tom, yes, Tom 12 from Ho Chi Minh. Your topic is, if you could have any superpower for a day, What would it be and why? You got that, Tom? I'll send it to you in the chat. Okay, so that's your question, Tom. If you could have any superpower for a day, what would it be and why? What's your question, Tom?
Can I choose? I have one specific topic in my mind.
Nope, you get the one I've given you.
Do you know why? Because like I want to choose the top. I want to choose the topic like the reasons why Mr. Archer should be married to a turbo burger. That was the topic that I wanted to
No,
do.
because that's not an impromptu speech. You've had
Yes,
time to
because
consider those arguments. So,
because I do have a lot of reasons. One, you like
nope. So, your topic is if you could have any superpower for a day, what would it be and why? John from Hanoi.
Not
Your
anything.
question, your question, your question that I want you to consider is if you could time travel to any historical period, where would you go and what would you do? So John 10 Hanoi. You. Okay. Next, I will pick Victoria. My question for you. Oh, goodness. My question for you is explain how you would survive a zombie apocalypse with only 3 items from your room. Hmm. So, my name's a zombie apocalypse with only 3 items from your room. Okay, and I'll offer one more. Let's go with Anaphis 8 from Hanoi. Okay, your question will be, if you were a wizard, what spell would you create and how would you use it? Okay, so and no, you cannot just create Avada Kedavra because that's already been invented. Okay, so I have my four questionnaires. So I've put on a, excuse me. I've put on a 3-minute timer. You've all got your questions. So be thinking about your speech because you're going to present to the class. Okay. So be planning your speech, remember your structure. Okay. So we've got about a minute left of your preparation time, guys. We can't wait to hear your speeches. About 30 seconds left, guys, and then we're going to have you present your speeches. Are you ready, Tom? Okay. Our first speaker is Tom, and his topic, if you could have any superpower for a day, what would it be and why?
Okay. Can I take excuse me, Mr. Archer, can I take like a few seconds to make myself a bit calmer? Because I am
You
really
may.
anxious.
You may.
Okay, I'm ready. So, in my opinion, if I would have any superpower, then I would my superpower would be that anything I say comes true. So, and the reason that I want to say that is that because like I can just like if I want any drink, and if I had a really great dream, I could make that dream come true. Like for example, like I read the Harry Potter books, and I'm always fascinated with it. So I always dreamt that I could acquire a wand, and then I could help the world with Fiendfire, or maybe just wreak havoc with a lot of bad things. But in my opinion, it is a really great thing, and I would and and that settles the debate of my wish, and that also concludes what I want. What superpower would I want?
Very
I'm done.
good.
Like, see, Mr. Archer, if I had a wand, like I could just use Fiendfire to burn out a bunch of trash without making any smoke, or if anybody bullies me, I could just cause a Vada Kedavra and run away.
But killing is never the answer.
Like
Thank you very much
like
for your
like
speech,
like
Tom.
like anybody takes my book, or maybe takes my toys and then break them or something, I would be so angry that I could just use a Vada Kedavra and then run away.
No, I cannot condone you using the death spell. Okay, so our next speech giver is John. John, where are you hiding?
What is my topic? My computer is going laggy.
If you could time travel to any historical period, where would you go and what would you do?
I think that if I can travel to any time, I think I would travel to the Second World War, because my class is having a topic on that. And if I went back there, I can watch the war like a British citizen in there, and then I'll watch the war, and then I think I'll like travel back and then do my report, because my report is due next week. And if I can, I think I will go back to when Jesus Christ was born.
Not
And
bad,
see
not bad.
what?
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah. And I think I'll go back to the New Year's.
Very
So
good.
I can watch fireworks. I love fireworks.
Fireworks are good fun, aren't they? Okay, thank you very much, John. Next up, we have Victoria.
Okay, so
Victoria.
my topic, what's my topic again?
Explain how you would survive a zombie apocalypse with only 3 items from your room.
Get my shoe. Yeah, maybe get my secret weapons out.
So what are those
Yeah,
secret weapons?
Weapons out. Yep. I'm like my umbrella. I just get my umbrella and then hit them. Easy. And maybe my broom. My broom and of course my blaster.
So a broom, an umbrella, and a blaster, and those are the 3 things you'd take to survive the zombie apocalypse. Oh my goodness. Okay, thank you, Victoria. Our last speaker is Anaphis.
Can you hear me?
And Anaphis, your question was, if you were a wizard, what spell would you create and how would you use it?
If I'm a wizard, I'll turn bad things into good things. Like if someone has a fear of rat and wanted to have a rabbit, and I would turn the rat into the rabbit. And if someone always get bad points, then I could turn their exam into all good points. And if someone have any disease, I could turn them into strong and healthy humans.
Very, very good. So you'd use your powers for good.
Yeah, to do good with the people in the world. I don't want to see any people sad.
Very nice. Oh, goodness. Okay, guys. So thank you very much to the 4 students that took the impromptu challenge. We did good. So we were able to come up with something. But what I noticed is that it didn't have what was that word that we were talking about before? The structure to it. Goodness, I'm forgetting words now. So it didn't have that structure to it. So always remember, we want to introduce the topic first. So even if the person introducing you says, for example, Mr. Michael is here to talk to you about the color of about the different colors of paint that you can get on a car. It doesn't matter that he's just said it. That's still going to be needs to be one of the first things that I say. Hello, my name is Mr. Michael, and I'm here to talk to you about the different colors of paint that you can get on a car. So it's still always up to me to reintroduce that topic before I go into the body of the speech. But still overall, very good effort considering we only had 3 minutes to get that ready. Oh, my apologies, Anaphis.
And if somebody was sad, I will turn you into a rat to make them laugh.
Oh, you turned me into a rat to make them laugh. Oh, bless. Well, it's a good thing you don't really have magical powers then. All right, so we've just done the impromptu challenge. So what I'd like to do now is just for 10 to 15 minutes, I'm just going to place you all in some breakout rooms. And I want you guys to discuss any impromptu speaking you might have had to have done. And just talk to the people in the room, go over the techniques that we talked about, the tips for managing impromptu speeches. So I'm going to assign you guys to breakout rooms now. And I want you all to discuss everything we've talked about tonight. So I'm just going to assign automatically, and there'll be groups of about 11 or 12 participating per room. So we should get 4 rooms out of that. So yeah, just discuss everything that we've learned tonight. So talking about the structure of the speeches, the tips for overcoming being scared, everything we've discussed tonight. All right, terrific. I'm going to open the rooms for 10 minutes. 10 minutes you guys have. And if you get sent out of one of the rooms that you're in, don't worry, just go back into it or ask me to send you back into it, and I will. So here we go. I'll jump around from room to room every once in a while. Good luck. Hello, Johnny. Hello, Mina. Oop, still muted. Okay. So now we're going to have a bit of a share. So who'd like to? We're going to have a share with the whole class. So who'd like to talk about something that they learned tonight? Sunny.
And tonight I have learned about organize a thoughts, and we have learned to make a speech your to your topic. You have talked and have shown to everyone your topic, and they will like write a piece about that.
Very good. So you learned how to organize your thoughts tonight. I like that. Good. Ken.
Okay, so teacher, today I learned the tips for speaking on the spot to deliver an impromptu speech. I learned useful methods and also some really practical exercise to make that skill flourish. And also, I learned that we can have notes while we're talking, and I learned to smoothly bounce between points. I mean, to use transitions. Thank you, teacher.
Very good, Ken. Thank you. Victoria, with whatever's going on with your head right now.
Okay, so today I have studied a lot how to make a impromptu speaking, and I don't know what to do while I don't know about that. And today I thank you, thanks to you that I have noticed what to do while my friend just asked me some of the English words that my friends are really interested about my English. And that's all for today. And I have a picture of you in the chat. And Alice Lay always just sending me a lot of pictures that I don't know what happened to her. So that's all today.
I'm glad that's all today. Thank you, Victoria.
Hey,
I'm just starting to
my
see some of the
my
pictures in the
pictures
chat.
up there. Alice Lay just always sending me pictures of you and resting with the rich and also the sunlight with pink cheeks.
Oh, bless. Well, thank you, Victoria. Emily, you're next. Could you tell us about something you've learned this evening?
Oh, I learned some a lot of things and reverse things that thanks you to I know that what techniques do I need when I really forget about what I'm talking about, and I am looking for students that you call to have a like discuss. Yep, and this
An
is
example?
all. Yep.
Very good. Thank you very much, Emily. Jessica, can you tell us about something you learned this evening?
Okay, teacher, that we have learned. I was very thankful of you because you have teach us from impromptu speeches. So that means that I have learned a lot in that, and I wish you would be well so you could teach us a lot of more if you are well.
Thank you very much, Jessica. I should be well by next week, and we'll definitely be continuing the lessons. So, Olivia, Stefania, you're next. What's something that you learnt this evening from class?
Well, the thing that I learned from class for today is I learned how to improve about my speech and recognize and reorder the spot and the place of my speech and make the right things or the right orders in my speech. I know how to make it more correctly and more enjoyable for the listener to hear.
Very good. Thank you very much. Guys, stop sending me funny pictures. Luna, what's something that you learned this evening?
Well, in today's lesson, I learned what is an impromptu speech and how to deliver one. So how long do you think you're gonna be back? So how long are you gonna be better so you can have more accurate classes?
So we can have more what classes?
Better classes since you're like ill right now.
Well, hopefully by next week I should be feeling all better. Okay, Tom from Ho Chi Minh, what's something that you learned this evening?
So, a few things that I've learned. One, you have taught me how to prepare speeches really fast, and two, you have taught me how to how to think of funny stories, like meme stories. Like for example, in the breakout room, I actually told everyone a story about the history of turtle burgers.
Oh gosh, of course you did.
Like, do you want to hear it? Like, it is
No.
not that long.
No. I do not want to hear the story of the history of turtle burgers. It'll make me sad.
No, it isn't gonna make you sad. Like it just starts with the competition that your grandfather decides to make turtle burgers, and then they figured that it was one of the funniest things of all, and your grandfather decided to pass the tradition to your father, and then he decided to and he decided to give this tradition to you, the tradition of turtle burgers.
So I had to make a turtle burger. I thought my secret would be safe forever. This is why I didn't want you telling that story, Tom.
It's not that hard. Just go to a seashore, kidnap a turtle, bring it home, and make a burger. And make a burger instead of meat patties. You put the turtle in.
Oh, bless. Well, thank you, Tom. I'm glad you learned the story of the turtle burger. Dulan, your name badge is hidden by the scroll down arrow.
So today I have learned about what is an impromptu speech. So an impromptu speech is a speech that you have a little time to prepare, and it's like you're just chilling there, and then someone random people just come and say, okay, tell me about this prepared speech. I give you 2 minutes or you die. So you have to think fast and then arrange all things you have to say in that speech, so you can let the people know it's a little speech. Smart.
Very good. Thank you. So next we'll go to Alice. We'll ask a few more. And Alice, what did you learn? What's something that you learned this evening?
I learned how to think faster to do my speech, and I also learned how I also meet many friends, which is like to tease you like I did, and also I also learned how to think faster so that I could talk to other faster within a short time, so that they could don't waste their time to listen to me, etc. Yeah, that's what I learned tonight. And also I really glad that I didn't miss today's lesson, because last week you were sick, so you couldn't teach us. But I'm glad I learned this lesson because it was really fun. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alice. And Anthony. After Anthony, we'll have 2 more.
Okay. Hello, teacher.
Hello.
Today I learned a lot of things, how to speaking with other people in our country, in the world. And thank you to teach me all this. And thank you very much. And you last week is sick, right?
That's right.
Is last week you can teach our students in this class, right?
Yes.
Our student is very smart, and they very like you or love you in their heart.
Thank you. Okay, so we've got time for maybe 2 or 3 more. Stella, what's something that you learned in class this evening?
So today's in class, I because I like joined a bit late, but as far as I study, the most of the time is the first thing that I learned how to like how to understand a fable story or how to organize my own speeches. But I also learned about one thing that I don't like in today's lesson, and that is I should never trust the other teammates because when I join a team today, they just argue about one thing. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough time and blah blah blah. I don't study anything. I like
However, you still managed to give a very good lesson. You still managed to give a very good recap of some of the things you learned. So thank you, Stella. And all right. We will finish off with Kelvin. What's something that you learned this evening, Kelvin?
What's wrong with me? Oh, sorry. I have some problem with my internet access.
No worries. What is something that you learned from class this evening?
So I learned that we learn to listen, learn to speak a little smart, in produce speeches. But I have one question for you that what do we need? What do we use from the important speech?
Sorry, could you ask that again?
How do we use the important speech in our life?
So how do you mean, how would we use these techniques, or where would we use them?
Yes, how and where? Both that.
So if you're interested in taking part in debate, then these skills very much apply to debate. Yeah, so if you're participating in a debate, being able to plan an impromptu speech would be very helpful if you're the reply speaker for your team. Again, you just never know where you may be, who you may be with, and when whether somebody needs a speech or not. And that can actually, that can help you out a lot too. Why you'd want to use this? Because it's a very handy skill to have. Sometimes it might not even be about giving a public speech. This could help you in a conversation you're having with someone. If you can think of lots of ideas for things to talk about, then a conversation will never run dry. So those are some of the places you could use these techniques. So all the way from debates to speeches to everyday conversation. Okay, our final participant will be Vika. So Vike.
Like, thanks for getting my name right.
You're welcome, Vike.
Yay. And everyone says Viking, but never mind it. Well, today I'm doing weird homework that makes me write acne 10 times, but never mind about that. Anyway, today I learned about the techniques of impromptu speaking, and I learned how to not drop dead on stage every time someone hauls me up there and gives me a slip of paper that says, "Tell me about your breakfast." Because that's impromptu speaking, and you don't even get like 1 second of preparation. It's like, "Tell me about your breakfast." And like, "Oh, I ate lasagna for breakfast today." Everyone's like, "Huh?" Yeah. But that's still impromptu speaking, so that's what I learned today. Yippee! Also, can you look at my background?
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you, Vike. That was a very, very interesting that was a very interesting lesson you learned. Okay, so We have done the summary of the key takeaways. So listening to what you all learned from class this evening. I'd like to encourage you guys to practice your impromptu speaking, because again, you'd never know whether it's going to be an actual speech, a reply speech in a debate, or you don't know whether it's just going to be a conversation you need to have with somebody. But if you can do it that much, if you can make it that much easier for yourself, why wouldn't you do it? And I'll post the details of the homework assignment in the Zalo group. Good news, guys, it will most definitely have to do with impromptu speaking. So for the homework assignment, you're just going to practice your impromptu speaking, record yourself for self-reflection, and maybe even practice with a friend over a virtual call. But I'll post all the details in the Zalo group shortly. So my final thoughts, because we've covered a lot tonight, are that adaptability and practice are key. So you need to practice this just like any other skill to get good at it. And you don't know what the topic may be. You don't know how long you'll have to come up with your speech. So just being really adaptable and open-minded, and just remember the important things like the structure of the speech. And yeah, you will not go wrong. Thank you guys for a great session tonight. And I'm looking forward to seeing all the progress that you've been making throughout the weeks. So we've already had our Q&A session as well. So I'll thank you guys very much. Yes, I most definitely do need to say that. Oh, goodness. Okay. All right, so class is done now, guys. Okay. So class is done now, guys. I'll see you all next week. Why are more and more of you ending up with my face on your background? Oh my goodness. Well, I am going to go back through. Nighty night, everybody. Lovely to see you all again. Good night.
Goodbye, teacher.
Good night, teacher.
Good
Good night, everybody.
Teacher Michael eating a turtle's burger. Teacher Michael eating a turtle's burger. Teacher Michael eating a turtle's burger. Teacher Michael eating a turtle's burger.
I'm not eating a turtle burger.
Teacher, let's see your art
And Mr. Michael is a turtle burger.
I'm not a turtle burger.
Teacher Michael
And
is
Teacher Michael
Teacher
pizza is
Michael
delicious.
Peppa.
Teacher Michael's pizza is delicious. I am not.
Now I'm just going back through.
Teacher Michael pizza
Let
is
us see
delicious.
your art is Peppa.
I'm just going through and making sure that I save them
Teacher
all.
Michael's pizza is delicious. Woo!
Art gallery. Teacher Michael, she is very hard.
Michael pizza is
Goodbye,
delicious.
teacher.
I'm just making sure that I save all of these.
Teacher
pieces of
Michael
art.
pizza is delicious.
Its origins lie a century.
It's my
Supposedly,
fault. He drives the car.
Peter Emperor was killed in battle.
Teacher,
If
teacher,
represented
Yeah.
set on the 8 by 8 of
Kept
used
talking.
Hang on, I'm just going through and
key features. Different rules for moving different
Teacher.
types of goods. And a single
going through and
game
making sure I save all of these beautiful paintings.
game was originally known as Chaturanga, a Sanskrit
Teacher,
word for visions. With its spread,
Yes.
Sussex acquired
did you
its
watch
current
Peppa
name.
Pig since you were just little?
Goodbye, teacher.
Good night. Sorry, what was that?
Did you watch Peppa Pig since you were little?
I watched it a little bit.
Yes. Do you like my background picture?
Transcending its role as conciliation.
I just
Eventually,
watched Peppa Pig
Oh my gosh.
but George, he pronounced dinosaur as so.
Historian Al-Masudi considered the game a testament to
I'm just having fun finding all of these pictures you guys have been making and saving them all.
And George is like my little brother.
Is he?
Yes, he's a crybaby. My brother is 4 years old, but he is still a crybaby. And he didn't know how to talk.
Didn't he?